All right, am I live? Thank you. Thanks, Andy, very much. Thrilled to be here today. Ayaz, great presentation. I enjoyed it a lot. I want to talk a little bit about what we've seen out of the Spark community, what we see today out of the Spark community, and what we expect to happen in the years to come. And I want to do that by talking about Spark and the role we see it playing in the broad enterprise data management infrastructure that companies run, very much along the lines that Ayaz just did. So we've been paying attention to the Spark project for many years. Dr. Mike Franklin, who runs the AMP Lab, is here, and we know Jan and his team at the AMP Lab have been doing interesting work in data management for a very long time. I'm a Berkeley grad myself. I'm not surprised to see great data management technology come out of the finest public university on the planet, but it's great to see the current trajectory, the current momentum that Spark has. We believe that the platform, that Spark as an engine, can simplify, unify the Hadoop ecosystem, can make Hadoop and big data infrastructure easier to consume. We're working right now, and we announced this last year, with Databricks closely on integrating Spark into the platform that we deliver and contributing to the project. We're working alongside Intel and its 50-plus strong big data development team across 2 continents in order to advance the state of the art of the project. Last year, we made a big forward bet. We believe that Spark is the natural successor to MapReduce, and we were the first vendor to place that bet and to integrate Spark into the Hadoop-based big data platform that we deliver. February 2014, we formally added support, that is, we could deliver and support Spark as part of our infrastructure, and we continue to deliver exactly that to the market. We believe, as I said, that Spark is a powerful new engine in the ecosystem and a great second system. We've learned a lot over a decade plus of delivering MapReduce-based applications to the ecosystem. We've learned what it's good at and also why sometimes it's too slow, too complicated to use. Spark is a tremendous new design that addresses a bunch of those problems and that allows us to use it in ways that make MapReduce less important. By the way, Google announced at Google I/O just this past week that they've made the same bet internally, that the original MapReduce infrastructure on which they ran the business has been superseded by a collection of interactive query tools, by new stream processing and DAG execution engines. So what's happening right now in the open source ecosystem very much mirrors what's going on inside Google, where these techniques were invented in the first place. The current state of the Spark project is tremendous. It's very, very healthy. There are more than 20 open source projects that broadly go under the rubric of Hadoop. Of course, there's the Hadoop core projects, MapReduce and HDFS and the formal Hadoop core project. There are many others, Flume and Scoop and Uzi and so on, that complement that technology. If you look at the commit activity, if you look at the new development that is happening across that ecosystem, it is remarkable how much work, as a total fraction, is being done in the single Spark project. And I think that's a very strong endorsement of the value that we all see in the project. It's attracted participation from many, many organizations, from hundreds of developers. It's got tremendous momentum in the ecosystem. We talk about an enterprise data hub, a platform where you can land data with good spokes connecting it to the other infrastructure, the enterprise data warehouse, the high performance in-memory data management that you get from HANA and elsewhere. Systems knitted together, able to move data and workloads along those spokes. But inside the product that we deliver, we've got a fantastic scale-out storage engine, HDFS, that through workload management and Yarn is able to interact with, is able to be exploited by a bunch of different engines. And of course, we've got our real-time SQL engine, Impala, we've got machine learning, we've got traditional batch MapReduce. We see Spark as a strong player across a number of the use cases that formerly had special purpose engines. This is a great piece of news for our customers because it means the system gets less complex. We're able to do more jobs with this new engine. We're able to direct more work to Spark and ease away from MapReduce over time. So we're very, very bullish on the trajectory that we've seen. It's not just the vendor, by the way, that's excited about this. We've got customers running Spark against their big data workloads, integrated with all those other engines, taking advantage of security and delivering value, running applications on this converged platform. Lots of different use cases up here across a bunch of different vertical markets because high performance, analytic, and data transform is a valuable service across lots and lots of applications. So tremendous to see the uptake that we're already seeing just 6 months into shipping commercial version of the software in our customer base. So I talked a little bit about where we've been, talked a little bit about where we are. I want to talk about some very exciting news right now, and in particular, I want to talk about what we expect to happen in the Spark ecosystem in the months and years to come. So first of all, we've rolled out a new training program in Cloudera University that educates developers who want to build Spark-based applications. We're running our first public, generally available version of this class in August, but we've been running betas of it for some time, and I'm pretty excited. I think that in order to take advantage of this powerful new technology, good training, good documentation will be a big advantage, and I'm thrilled that Cloudera is able to deliver that. So we'll be delivering this through our direct training team and through our global training partner network around the world. So please keep your eyes peeled. If you're interested in learning about Spark, come to visit the Cloudera University site. We'd be glad to have you join one of the classes. All right, what else are we doing right now? So high performance in-memory data transformation and analysis benefits from high performance memory-based architectures. We've announced, alongside Intel and Dell, a new appliance optimized for big data workloads and specifically optimized to run Spark. Very excited about this. It's our entire Enterprise Data Hub offering. That is HDFS, MapReduce, all of the engines with security, manageability, delivery, and Spark integrated deeply into that system. Of course, we take advantage of the latest Intel technology, and Dell delivers this in a very easy-to-consume appliance form. For those customers who don't want to have to design and build their own big data infrastructure, a choice like this is fantastic. It makes consuming the technology much easier if you don't need to order special hardware on your own, configure it, decide what kind of storage, what kind of memory to build in. So we think this is great news for our customers. We think this is going to accelerate adoption of Spark in our installed base and in the companies that we're talking to broadly. But that's just what Cloudera is doing. I want to talk much more broadly about the role we see Spark playing in the broad ecosystem. So last year, I wrote a blog post where I said that we believe that Spark is the successor to MapReduce. Generated a lot of interest and some controversy at the time, but we couldn't be more convinced that that was right based on the momentum that we see in the ecosystem today. Remember, we announced that we were shipping Spark last year. The entire ecosystem, every single Hadoop vendor, has now announced that it is doing the same thing. I think we're seeing a broad embrace of this new platform because it offers such compelling advantages over the original MapReduce engine. So much so that we expect, and we are working to deliver, all of the traditional MapReduce tools on top of Spark. So we want to deliver Hive, Apache Solr, Pig, Scoop, the entire framework of MapReduce-based tooling, ported over to Spark, able to run the same applications as before, but much faster, and using Spark's new architecture with lower latencies than was previously the case. I'm going to concentrate on the work on Hive in particular, because I think this is especially interesting. The Hive and Spark communities are already working together to make this happen. We dropped a Jira last week that got picked up in the press, and there's been a bunch of speculation about what we're doing and why we're doing it. But I want to talk about that a little bit here. The deal is that Hive, as a batch mode query processing engine, just naturally runs better on Spark than it runs on MapReduce. It's no surprise that that is the case. We want to make that as easy as possible because we've got an enormous number of customers that rely on Hive for data transform, for batch data processing workloads. So this marriage, we believe, is an absolutely natural one. Today, we're pleased to announce that we're working with leading vendors across the industry in the open source ecosystem to make this happen. So Cloudera, Databricks, MapR, Intel, and IBM have committed to do this integration. And I want to pause right here and issue a heartfelt invitation to Hortonworks to join this effort. Right? We'd love to have, you guys are all laughing. Seriously, think of the community that is moving here, right? I think it would be tremendous for that to happen, and I'd very much like to make it so. The commitment of these vendors means that we'll be able to move very quickly, that the community is rallying around this effort, and we think that the integration effort will go very, very quickly. So I'm thrilled to be able to collaborate with this list of companies and very, very excited about what it means for the ecosystem broadly. Of course, Hive talks to MapReduce. Hive talks to the Hortonworks project TES. Hive talking to Spark is just another development. I think it's actually a great thing that there are multiple back-end engines here. Those of you who've been in the database world for a while will remember that MySQL, the very popular open source SQL engine, also supported a variety of storage backends. It was able to interact with various backends. Now, the story here's a little bit different, right? This is the query processing framework that is used. But this diversity is healthy in an open source ecosystem. We're making a big bet on Spark across our platform. So clearly it's the one that we're going to be concentrating our efforts on. But Hive talking to Spark, matched with traditional batch processing that Spark is able to do, and stream processing that Spark is able to do, mean we get a much simpler system at Cloudera, and that's just flat out good for our customers. That's why this makes sense to us. The speculation in the last couple of days has also been that we are killing Impala. Nothing could be further from the truth. And I want to say this as clearly as I can, again, to our colleagues at Hortonworks. We believe deeply in the native distributed query processing engine that we are building in Impala. It is a strictly better SQL execution engine than a general purpose engine like Spark is. Hive is hugely popular. It is widely used for batch data processing, batch query workloads today. That's going to be true for a long time. It's perfectly reasonable for customers, for users, to expect it to get faster and better. We view Impala as the natural home for analytic workloads running on our big data infrastructure. It's patterned on the same sort of query processing design that Google has used. We believe it's the right one for scale-out query execution, right? But Hive is outstanding at data transform, at less interactive, more batch mode queries, and we're going to be able to make it go much faster. Of course, the Spark community continues to innovate on its own. There will be other SQL engines in the market without question. Again, I think that's healthy for customers. Cloudera's bet is absolutely, resolutely, and without any qualification on Impala for analytic workloads. It is absolutely, resolutely, and without reservation on Hive for the workloads that Hive runs well. And Hive is going to run those workloads even better than before because of the outstanding work that the Spark community has done. We look forward to delivering on this vision. And then, by the way, we look forward to coming back and talking to you about the community work we're doing to make Pig run well on Spark, to make Scoop run well on Spark, and so forth. We see it as a tremendous successor to MapReduce and a big advantage to users in the ecosystem broadly. Thank you very much.